placer que le tengamos, lo hemos traído a través del programa Erasmus. Él ha trabajado durante muchos años para una compañía por la cual yo sentí mucha admiración cuando la conocí, que es una compañía que se llama The Song of the Goat, que es una compañía polaca. Entonces él es francés, afincado en el Reino Unido, pero ha trabajado mucho en Polonia, ¿vale? Con una compañía que digamos que es heredera del entrenamiento de Grotowski, que llamamos teatro post-grotowskiano, que utilizan un entrenamiento físico muy intenso, así como un trabajo vocal y de búsqueda antropológica de canciones, digamos, vinculadas con la cultura. Entonces es un trabajo para mí precioso. Yo cuando descubrí ese espectáculo en el año 2001, yo era un estudiante Erasmus en el Reino Unido, en una universidad que se llama Grotowskian, de la que él ha sido profesor años más tarde, y entonces me sentí fascinado hasta el punto que yo me quise mudar a Polonia a vivir. Todo el trabajo de esta compañía, fíjate, me fascinó totalmente. Entonces, bueno, finalmente le hemos traído. How many years we've been talking about this? Probably 3 years or something. Desde que comenzamos las conversaciones sobre la posibilidad de que él viniese a España a compartir un poco sus especialidades, ¿no? Que es entrenamiento, cántico, ensamblaje, mutualidad y muchas herramientas distintas para un grupo, una compañía de teatro. So, I don't talk anymore. Bueno, puedo decir otra cosa. Puedo decir, él se considera practitioner, que es un término que en el mundo anglosajón se usa, es como practicante. Un practitioner es una persona en activo en el mundo profesional, es decir, actor y director. Luego tiene una parte académica, porque da clases en distintas universidades, en Brighton and others, other places. Y estás haciendo el doctorado en Plymouth, en la Universidad de Plymouth, justamente sobre entrenamiento actoral. Entonces hoy nos va a hablar un poco qué es una metodología de investigación dentro del ámbito del entrenamiento actoral, porque parece que son prácticas que nos falta un poco cómo se hace una investigación práctica y que tenga esta metodología científica a la hora de hablar algo tan, digamos, tan esquivo como es el cuerpo, la voz, un entrenamiento en el espacio, ¿no? Así que no hablo más para que podáis disfrutar un poco más de él, ¿vale? ¿Os parece? Así que, this is all yours. You're in your hands. Muchas gracias. Un aplauso para él.
Perdona, no hablo español. Parlo un po' italiano, a lot English, and still francés. Mucho gracias. To you. It's very important that practitioners work together, and it's very beautiful with the heart to work with Alfonso. Thank you very much for the teachers that I have met already and the teachers that I will meet. And thank you for National America. That it's possible to come here and to meet you. Meeting in this space is what matters to me, is why I make theatre.
Un encuentro con un espacio como este es muy importante para él porque es el motivo por el cual él hace teatro.
I asked Alfonso a few times what he wants me to tell you.
Me ha contado varias veces qué es lo que me gustaría que contase aquí.
I will try to answer maybe 3 questions. One is why we do this.
Voy a hacer unas preguntas. Primera, ¿por qué hacemos esto?
Perché facciamo il teatro? Perché? Why not? Why? And poi how I make theatre. What is interesting for me? Because I can only speak about what I know.
¿Cómo hacemos teatro? ¿Qué es importante para mí? Porque solamente puedo hablar de lo que es importante para él.
Why and how and
¿Por qué y cómo?
And then maybe what for?
¿Y para qué? Y finalmente le preguntaremos el para qué.
For me, it's very difficult, this relationship, talking to you like professor. I am not a professor.
Es una situación muy difícil hablaros como si fuese un profesor porque no soy
I go to make theatre, I have no fear.
Salgo al escenario, no tengo miedo.
No fear at all. No stage fright.
No miedo escénico.
But when I got married, I had to walk and in front of everyone say to my wife, oh no, okay. Matthieu Leloup-Bellon, do you want to marry, blah blah blah. And first of all, I was very, very scared. More scared than ever. Why? When I go on stage in front of 3,000 people, one day we sing with Dalai Lama. No fear.
Salgo al escenario o cuando canto con otros actores como Dalai Lama, no hay ningún miedo escénico, no tengo miedo.
That is it. My wife. Mayo, the mayor. Matthieu Leloup-Bellon, do you want to marry? And I go this. Yes. And she goes, what? Speak louder to me.
Por ejemplo, el día que se casó con su mujer y estaba delante del alcalde y le preguntaba, ¿te gustaría casarte con ella, tomarla por esposa? Y no tenía palabras, ¿no?, para expresarse.
So this really brings a question for me.
Esto es una pregunta.
What is it that scares me when I am completely myself, speaking for myself in front of all these people, very, very scared?
¿Qué es lo que hay en mí? Que cuando soy realmente yo, pero hablo delante de todas estas personas, me genera mucho miedo.
So what happens that when I go on stage in front of thousands of people, hundreds, okay. No, one day, 3,000, it's a lot, yeah? Anyway, so, no fear. What is the distance I make that makes this possible? Yeah? And this becomes really thinking about theatre and about how to be an actor. And maybe there is something here that I can find. And this becomes my practice. The space that there is in us, that why it's possible to be singing.
Porque es posible que esté cantando.
And not this is possible, no fear, but Alfonso, will you marry me? It's in front of you. Maybe we are not married, by the way, this is acting. But you see, I can confuse you. I can already confuse you. I'm an actor. I can confuse you. I can put it down in your head. I can make you believe this. I can make you believe, yeah? No?
Esto es actuación, puedo haceros creer.
I will not do now because I don't want to confuse Alonso. But it's possible. You accept this possibility, no? So this is our job for the actor, to make you believe in something that is not true, but you believe it.
Ese es el trabajo del actor, haceros creer algo que no es verdad, pero que vais a creerlo.
And it's very important that you know that it's not true.
Es importante que sepáis que no es cierto.
No? Because otherwise we're in trouble.
Si no, tendríamos un problema.
Yeah, because if I come and I speak Hamlet or Macbeth, and you think I am Macbeth, total confusion.
Porque si vengo y hablo
For you, for me.
como Hamlet, como Macbeth, y creéis que yo soy Hamlet, entonces tenemos un problema. Esto es muy confuso, tanto para ustedes como para mí.
So theatre, it exists, and it gives us the possibility to know where the truth is by metaphor, no?
Este es el poder del teatro que nos ayuda a comprender dónde está la verdad a través de una metáfora.
But metaphor, it's not an image for another image. We confuse again. Today we confuse. Metaphor, what does it mean? It means, we think it means something that stands for something else, no?
Hoy en día podemos cometer el error de pensar que una metáfora es pensar algo que sustituye a otra cosa.
But metaphor, what it means from the Greek, this is from the Greek, metaphor. It means transport.
Sin embargo, el griego significa transportar.
It means a journey from one place to the other.
Un viaje de un sitio a otro.
This is what metaphor means.
Esto es lo que significa metáfora.
In fact, if you go to Greece now, people, when you say metaphor, they understand transport. So we're going to take the bus.
De hecho, si vas a Grecia y usas la palabra metáfora,
claro,
piensa que vas a poner
it's true. But it's very interesting because I think theatre, it's the metaphor for life. It means it makes you do a journey inside life.
Pues creo que el teatro es una metáfora porque te ayuda a hacer un viaje dentro de la vida.
And you know that it's an image of life. You know that it's a transport for life. So this is why we call it metaphor. You know it's not life, but you know it makes you transport into life. So for this reason, theatre more true than life.
Sabéis que es una imagen que no es real, pero que es una imagen que representa el viaje dentro de la vida que hacemos. Por lo tanto, por eso es tan importante, porque es more true than life, es más cierto que la vida.
Yeah. And transport is also a word that it's used even in Espanol, I think, in 16th, 15th century for transport. It's the same as emotion. I've been transported by something. There is a transport, in French for sure, yeah? J'ai eu un transport. Un transport et, plus joli encore, un transport de l'âme. A transport of the soul.
Un transporte para el alma.
And this is how the word transport, therefore metaphor, was used.
Por eso se dice que la idea de transportar nos lleva a la palabra metáfora. Es por eso que se usa.
And that's very interesting, because transport is what you feel that makes you metaphor, yeah? So you feel something, you do something, you hear music, and you are transported. You are going somewhere.
Por eso cuando escuchas algo o escuchas a alguien, te sientes transportado a algún sitio.
But it's also what we call having an emotion.
También es lo que llamamos es tener una emoción.
This is going somewhere, by the way. I'm not just I am going somewhere with this.
Por cierto, con toda esta
I
reflexión
am
voy a
transporting you somewhere. I have a direction. I am making sense, but I will.
Tenemos una dirección dentro del discurso, todo esto tiene sentido, no os preocupéis, vamos a principio.
And emotion, it's the word has been created almost to replace transport. Yeah, the way we use transport in the 16th century, I am transported by something, music transports me. Yes, we replace this word with emotion slowly. And emotion, what it means is emotion. What creates movement outside?
En el siglo XVI, entonces, la palabra transportar fue sustituida por emoción. Al emocionarnos, la palabra lo que implica es poner algo en movimiento. ¿Qué es eso que a mí me moviliza internamente?
And that's very interesting, because emotion then it's a physical event. It's something that happens physically in you.
Es muy interesante porque entonces el teatro es un evento físico que sucede físicamente en ti.
And if I have an emotion, you are watching me, you will empathize and you will have an emotion.
Así que si me estáis viendo, podéis empatizar conmigo y llegar a tener una emoción.
So if I ask now, Alfonso, this is what I try to train in the actor. The possibility to connect to emotion, not feelings. You see here, there is no feelings of this magnitude between me and Alfonso.
No hay sensación, no hay emociones de esta magnitud entre yo y Alfonso.
But I can generate an emotion
Puedo generar una emoción
that will make true
que va a hacer real
what I say to you.
lo que estoy diciendo.
So I make a distinction between emotion and feeling.
Hago una distinción entre emoción y emociones.
And I think this is...
Sentimientos.
You translate it. So my training progressively it has been developed from if I go to get married and it's my feeling and my emotion, I cannot speak because I am naked, because I am scared, because why would I say to all of you yes to what the fuck is that? That's horrible. It's like you go crazy idea, huh?
Es que esta es la pregunta cultural de su entrenamiento, porque cuando él tiene que decirle a alguien en la vida real que se case con él en la vida real no podría, ¿no?
But I can. So when I go on stage, I am. My emotions are completely for you. My feelings completely for me.
Por eso cuando estoy en escena, mis emociones son para vosotros y mis sentimientos para mí.
And this is my gift to the audience.
Este es el regalo que yo le hago al público.
And this is how I understand a phrase that for me is very important from Antonin Artaud.
Así es como tiene una frase que es muy importante para mí.
That he speaks of the athletes of the heart.
Que habla de los atletas del corazón.
So, the athlete of the heart, it's someone who trains.
Es alguien que entrena.
So, my emotions. That's what I want to say, really. So why I do this? So this is like what we do, what I do.
Esto es el qué hago.
Why, of course, it comes from also very personal, very maybe like you. I'm sure like you. So. So now we'll share personal, but it's not a little bit of my feelings. So when I first do theatre, I'm 7 years old, and I do a play for my grandfather.
Hice una obra de teatro para mi abuelo.
For his 60th birthday, I think I told some of you this.
Para su cumpleaños 60.
And I do this, the curtain.
De esto, una cortina.
And I understand immediately this idea. Even I never go to theatre. I'm 7 and
Incluso aunque nunca había ido al teatro con 7 años.
Aquí posso essere con voi e con me insieme, together, and we can be in life together. For me this was clear when I was 7. E después di questo tempo, casino totale. Ma come vado a fare a questo, Madonna?
Madre mia.
Allora non faccio
Ahora soy capaz de ser el doctor, el abogado.
Dinero. Pero every time I go to a theater, even here, it's home.
Pero cada vez que voy al teatro, incluso aquí, me siento como en casa.
This is why I'm here.
Este es el por qué estoy aquí.
And whenever I don't do this,
Cuando no hago esto,
I really know I am not in the world.
no estoy en el mundo.
I don't know where I am.
No sé dónde estoy, pero no estoy en el
Very
mundo.
confusing.
Es muy complicado.
Because this is a place where the emotion are allowed to be channeled,
Porque este es el sitio en el que la emoción se permite que sea canalizada.
to be used, to be understood, to be shared.
Ser comprendida, ser compartida.
And it's a very special place. Come on.
Es un lugar muy especial, ¿no?
So then the question is how we do it, and for whom, and why are you here?
La pregunta es, ¿cómo lo hacemos? ¿Para quién? ¿Y por qué estáis aquí?
Because this is about you, this is not about me.
Porque esto es sobre vosotros, en realidad, no es sobre mí.
Me, I'm already old and finished.
Yo ya soy muy mayor y a punto de acabar.
So this part of the how is important because this space, it exists in 3,000 years, maybe more.
Este espacio ya existía hace 3.000 años o incluso más.
The possibility for people to be horizontal and share horizontally from empathy.
La posibilidad de compartir con un público de forma horizontal desde la empatía.
This is an institution that comes from shamanism inside a space.
Esta es una institución que viene desde el chamanismo hacia el espacio,
Historically.
históricamente.
And this particular space called teatron, from the Greek again,
Este espacio en particular llamado teatrón
it is what created Athenian democracy.
es lo que creó la democracia en Atenas.
In this space that is horizontal,
Un espacio horizontal
it means we are all at the same level,
significa que todos estamos al mismo nivel,
except you are watching me,
excepto que ustedes me están mirando a mí.
so I am doing something
Así que estoy haciendo algo
that is important for you, that tells you
que
something.
es importante para vosotros porque os estoy creando.
So this idea, it's 3,000 years old, and it's very specific to this institution of teatro, and it only can exist, I think, in this space.
Este 10.000 que viene desde hace 3.000 años y solamente puede existir en este espacio.
So now I am talking about the actor of theatre, not performing.
Estoy hablando del acto del teatro, no de la actuación.
Performing is a part of it,
La actuación es una parte de ello
also something else.
y al mismo tiempo otra cosa
That we can train, we can talk about
que
this.
podemos entrenar y podríamos incluso llegar a hablar de ello.
But this institution, this is an institution, it's a thought of institution with a building, a space created for it. Capito? It's a space
Es un espacio
that creates a certain type of relationship.
que crea un tipo de relación en particular.
Without this space, it's not theater, it's something else.
Sin este espacio ya no es teatro, es otra cosa distinta.
And this is the space that I discovered when I was 7.
Este es el espacio que descubrí con 7 años.
And I am sure that it's a space you share as well.
Y estoy seguro que es un espacio que también compartís.
So how do we train and what is at stake? Two things. One, it's my feelings and my emotion.
¿Qué entrenamos y qué es eso de entrenar? Entrenamos dos cosas,
And-
mis sentimientos y mis emociones.
So many coffees. And it's about how we work with this. No? We had a lovely talk yesterday with the fourth year, I think, and one of you, maybe you were here, that really for you it was important. And so we had this, and then Anna said something very, very beautiful. Anna is here?
No, she's in the doctor. She's in the doctor.
She's what? Oh, shit, okay. Something very, very beautiful. We were working on this relationship, a little exercise we did, and it was technical.
Okay.
Estamos haciendo un ejercicio ayer con Ana Serna, era una cosa técnica,
Very specific,
muy específica,
and we did this together, and she said, and then we finished, and she said, this is like love. This is like love.
esto es como la-
No, she didn't say that, she said, this is love.
Dijo, esto es amor.
Huh? So we go back again to this idea of athletes of the heart, that we can do something that has to do with how we relate to each other and therefore to the world.
Volvemos a la idea de los atletas del corazón sobre cómo nos relacionamos con nosotros mismos y al mismo tiempo con el mundo.
So this feels very abstract when I talk about it, and feels maybe a little bit like,
Esto se siente un poco abstracto si hablo de ello, se siente un poco como
there is a connection. I hope I'm not going to insult anyone. This is always the bit where I go
Puede
crazy.
ser una conexión con el tema, espero que esto no funcione, por favor.
So when I was a child, my grandmother, I love my grandmother, even though she was really extreme right.
Cuando era niño, mi abuela, amo a mi abuela, tiene que dar
This
cuenta
one really
que
was.
ella era de extrema derecha.
And this is also complicated if you think about it, because politically there was a great violence in what she thought about the world. Yeah, for me it's very violent, the extreme right.
Esto es complicado porque la forma en la que ella veía el mundo, desde una perspectiva de la extrema derecha, era una forma muy violenta de ver la vida.
But how she was with me, with her heart, it was really, really,
La forma en la que ella estaba conmigo, desde el corazón,
really beautiful. So you see the distinction between feelings and emotion already.
Ahora vemos la diferencia entre sentimientos y emociones.
So where was I? Yes, so I said to you before, there is something of a church in the work that we do. There is something that is spiritual, that is really noted by Grotowski, for example.
Hay algo de la iglesia, algo de un ritual que ya fue percibido por el director como Grotowski.
So something spiritual.
Hay algo espiritual.
And this goes back to my grandmother, because my grandmother, I was a little child, I said, so what is this church building? Because I was not baptized by my parents and I never go to church.
Esto conecta con mi abuela porque una vez caminando con ella pregunté qué es este edificio y bueno, yo en realidad no estaba bautizado.
But she was obviously baptized and she was not very, but she goes to church like she should. You know, maybe she doesn't believe, but she goes to church, in the institution.
Ella no creía, pero iba a la iglesia, a la institución.
So what is a church? She says, Grandma, what is a church? And she says, oh, it's the home of Jesus Christ.
¿Qué es la iglesia? Y dice, bueno, ella me dijo, es la casa de Jesucristo.
And I thought, bloody hell, he has so many homes. But for me, I am not Jesus Christ.
Yo no soy Jesucristo.
But every theater, it's my home in the same way, because it creates this relationship.
Pero cada teatro es mi casa en el mismo sentido, porque crea esa relación.
Maybe the only home I have is this one, really.
La única casa que yo tengo es esta.
And so there is an element of spirituality in it, but as I said before, I work with the physical aspect of emotion, because that is the emotions, the spirituality, it's in our bodies.
Trabajo con la parte física de la emoción, porque está en nuestros cuerpos.
So I just want to show you very quickly a series of, it's very short, and it's what we do in, what I have done over the years with my technique with students. These are student shows. Some of them are public performances, some of them are more like laboratory performances. And with the work that I did that comes from Grotowski, we'll talk about this very quickly later. This is an example, some examples of what we've done.
Voy a poneros algunos fragmentos de vídeos del trabajo que he venido haciendo durante los últimos años. Algunos son piezas de teatro.
Productions. This was just to show the different things I could do, so it's quite limited. At the end of this, they all sang. song? No, you
Yeah,
don't. So this is just to show you that the training that I do, which is coming from Grotowskian, quite direct line. Yeah. So I am second generation Grotowski. So I have been trained by people that have trained with Grotowski.
Segunda generación que viene de Grotowski. Él ha entrenado con personas que entrenaron directamente con Grotowski.
Okay. So my work really is, we could say, post-Grotowski.
Por eso él llama a su trabajo post-Grotowskian.
There's a little network of us. It's not very big that have this direct lineage.
Es un pequeño grupo de personas los que tenemos esta línea directa solamente.
So Grotowski worked with impulses. So the idea that there is something that you work from inside, this is what I'm doing now, inside to outside.
Grotowski trabajaba con el impulso como si hubiese una conexión directa entre el interior y el exterior.
So now I could, for example, he was doing something very physical where he got rid of all the blocks of the body.
Él logra hacer una cosa muy física cuando liberó de todos los bloqueos del cuerpo.
And he ended up with just a vibration.
Y terminó simplemente con una pequeña vibración.
It means when you saw someone, you don't see his body, you see something else.
Por eso cuando ves a alguien no ves su cuerpo, lo que ves es otra cosa.
It does work, I have seen it, and I have to some degree done it.
Funciona, yo lo he visto y hasta en una determinada capacidad lo he hecho.
And it's very beautiful.
Y es muy hermoso.
But this energy, it just goes up.
Esta energía va hacia arriba.
And I am interested in horizontal.
Pero estoy interesado en una dirección horizontal.
Because with this energy, I do not need to be with you.
Porque con esta energía realmente ya no necesito estar con vosotros.
But my theater, as I said before, I need to be with you.
Porque en mi teatro realmente yo necesito estar con vosotros.
You are more interesting than me.
Vosotros sois más interesantes que yo.
Me, I'm always with myself. So
Yo siempre estoy conmigo mismo.
I'm not bored with myself, I'm just less interested.
No es que me aburra conmigo mismo, pero me considero menos interesante.
Or I've noticed that if I move with you,
O he notado que si me muevo contigo
and I move with you,
y contigo,
I feel different.
me siento distinto.
Oh no, I am different.
Ah, no, soy distinto.
So this is also my approach to character now.
Esta es mi aproximación al personaje.
I give a text to my partners. This is Hamlet.
Doy un texto a mis
This is
compañeros.
Ophelia.
Esta es Ofelia, esta es Hamlet.
And please work with Hamlet.
Trabaja con Hamlet.
Please work with Ophelia.
Trabaja con Ofelia.
But you don't need to think that you are Hamlet.
Pero no, por favor, no pienses, no necesitas pensar que eres Hamlet.
You don't need to think that you are
No
Ophelia.
necesitas pensar que eres Ofelia.
But see how you respond
Pero-
with Hamlet and this text that you have and this text that you have.
Pero mira cómo trabajas con Hamlet y con este texto que tienes.
And it's miraculous.
Y eso no se ve nada. Porque soy libre.
Because I don't need to come. Okay, so who is Hamlet? Okay, I'm 15 years old. He finds it very difficult to have sexual relationships. He's misogynistic. He doesn't like his mother. He doesn't like Ophelia. Oh, no. Horrible person. Don't like him. Little Hitler. Trump that has not grown yet. I don't want to feel this. I don't want to feel this. Yeah? I don't want to feel this. Ah.
So, in that way, you don't have time to judge the character, and it's so simple.
But it has to be true.
Yeah.
I need to listen to you. I need to be with you. We need to be together.
So the character
It
starts
comes out of this.
to appear because
En español.
it appears between the two actors and how they work together.
You're very clever. Really, huh? It's honest. Very clever. And you can't just do that. So I will finish talking and then we can have questions. I just want to show you something else and tell you where we are in the work now with this idea. So with my company, the training that I have, it's only linked to the relationship that we only work on the space between us.
La compañía literalmente que tenemos es sobre el espacio que tenemos entre las dos personas.
So I have a little dialogue with Alfonso about this, that he calls it interpersonal. So you may have heard it if you train with Alfonso.
He tenido una conversación con Alfonso sobre todo esto. Él, yo, llama espacio interpersonal.
I think it's maybe I don't know if it's the same that I work with, but it is really about the space. So if I want to be in relationship with Alfonso, I need to think that it's happening between us. And in fact, when we say, oh, these two people, they have a relationship, and if you say, well, where is it? The only answer that you can find is between them.
La única respuesta es está entre esas dos personas.
So I think we already know this.
Creo que esto ya lo sabemos.
Our language is saying this.
Nuestro lenguaje ya lo dice.
¿Comprende?
Sí.
Por eso I work only with this. So now I can be. This is why when I can generate an emotion, true emotion, not because I want to marry Alfonso. Because if I want to marry Alfonso, it's very complicated. What does it mean to love? Well, who are you? Do I know you? Oh my God, it's impossible, yeah? But if I feel this, and this space is about being with him, and wanting to be with him, and what is wanting to be with him? I don't even know if there's any want there. Maybe it's just feeling this together. Now you see I'm working with him, and I'm working at the space, and I'm trying to, and I'm, hey! Alfonso, you see I called him, but what I was really doing, I was reaching the space between us. I was not calling him, I don't know who that is, but what I know is that we are both in the same space. This is what I know. And very often I see you actors on stage and you completely forget this, so you go, tomorrow and tomorrow. You have a dialogue, yeah? So, tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this place. Today, to the last day, the time I know like yesterday, like the truth. Wait, what are you saying?
A menudo escucho a actores que están en escena y tienen un diálogo como esto, ¿no? Estás soltando texto.
Now, you argument with me, well, tomorrow and tomorrow means nothing in the situation. I can make it make sense. Tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this space. Today, to the last syllable of the golden time. And all I estimate is, you see the difference? Now, of course, it means that he also has to be with me, because otherwise I'm still sort of generating something that...
Esto significa que él también tiene que estar conmigo, porque si no estoy generando algo, en realidad.
And we spoke about this yesterday with the fourth year, yeah? We did, didn't we? That as long as you work on this, you need not to worry of the text. The text is already dead. Your idea about the text is already in the past. It's here now. What are you saying? What are you saying? Mean what you say and say what you mean.
Significa lo que estás diciendo y di lo que realmente significas.
So I want to show you. So what we did in the end, not in the end, at the beginning, when we made this training with my company outside the school. Yes, this is where I'm. Fine. We did Cervantes Don Quixote. Simple. I didn't know when I had the idea that it was, wow, okay, shit. And not just the first, the second as well. And then I thought, and I was starting to rehearse this with my international company, people from really different places, in English, because this was the only way. And Rafael Habolu is a very important artist, singer,
Entonces él decidió empezar a trabajar sobre Don Quijote y se dio cuenta que no solamente era este gran libro grueso, sino que eran 2 volúmenes. Incluso también se compró la segunda parte y entonces reunió a su compañía internacional que venían de distintas partes del mundo y empezaron a trabajar con esto, con un actor que se llamaba Ratko Hubble, que es el músico de The Song of the Gods, la compañía está polaca.
And they were rehearsing in English. No, they were rehearsing they were rehearsing the scene in the inn, and he was Don Quixote, and he had no text, so he just went. He had only text in English from Macbeth, the porter. The porter says, "No, who's there?"
And all he did la escena de Don Quijote, entonces el ensayo era en inglés y este actor que hacía Don Quijote no tenía texto. Venía un personaje que era el Potter y decía un fragmento de texto.
And all he did was to run. Oh, who's there? Blah blah blah. And suddenly, I had the story of Cervantes, Don Quixote, and I had the text of Shakespeare, and it's the same.
Y de pronto tuve por una parte la obra de Cervantes y Shakespeare al mismo tiempo en escena y me di cuenta que era lo mismo.
And it is the same, and you know why? Because they both died the same day.
¿Por qué? Porque ambos autores murieron el mismo día.
Shakespeare wrote a play about character from Don Quixote, so he had read Don Quixote.
Shakespeare escribió una obra a partir del personaje de haber leído.
And more importantly, I think there is a common language, a European common language, which has to do with energy, which has to do with imagery. And I think at the time, actually Europe was pretty much united in the sense that they shared a common something. And we forget that they were talking to each other a lot, because at the time the distance between Spain and England is much more than today. Yeah?
Incluso que la distancia geográfica en aquella época entre España e Inglaterra era mucho más larga que ahora.
So in the end what I did was to play a Don Quixote with international company, no one spoke the same language, 12 actors, not one same language. And they did Don Quixote with text from Shakespeare. It means I gave King Lear to you, and I gave Ophelia to you, and you had to have dialogue.
Entonces lo que hizo fue montar un Don Quijote con 12 actores de distintas nacionalidades.
And I used 32 plays of Shakespeare.
Y usó fragmentos de 32 obras de Shakespeare para dar personajes que venían de distintas obras de Shakespeare dentro de una obra de Cervantes.
And then I didn't know who I was.
Y ya no tenía ni idea.
So we have a script of 200 pages, and we have a play of about 3 hours.
Así conseguí tener un guión de 200 páginas y una hora de 3 horas de...
And it's all improvised.
Y todo estaba improvisado.
So what I did was that I gave the list of... They all had the text, they all had learned, worked on the text, worked on relationship with each other, but they didn't know where it was in the structure.
Todos habían trabajado los personajes y las relaciones con los personajes, pero no sabían dónde iba a aparecer eso dentro de la estructura.
So I put the list of the text in order.
Así que puse una lista con el orden de los textos.
And I said to them, okay, 7 tonight, audience comes in.
Así que dije, muy bien, son las 8, de las 9 menos 10 minutos y ahora el público vendrá.
And they did. And we did this 5 times at the Grotowskian Institute.
Hicimos este espectáculo 5 veces en el Instituto Grotowski.
And people were like, what the fuck is this?
El público se quedó como, ¿qué demonios es esto?
It's beautiful.
Es muy hermoso.
And Spanish people came and said, oh, this is Don Quixote.
Y la gente, incluso los españoles, dijeron, esto es Don Quijote.
I don't understand English, but this is Don Quixote.
No entiendo en inglés, pero lo que he visto es Don Quijote.
So this was in 2015,
Era 2015.
13, and from this possibility, I realized it's possible to do emotion, action,
por eso me di cuenta que era posible hacer emoción-acción, es su método,
and to work with the athlete of the heart.
y trabajar con la idea del atleta del corazón.
You can see is the freedom of movement that they have a little bit.
Lo que puede ver es la libertad de movimiento.
This is in performance. Okay.
Durante una actuación.
And this is Shakespeare text.
Y eso es un texto de Shakespeare.
And we can hear it when they speak, and we can understand what they're saying, and you understand the relationship. I just wanted you to have an image that you could see that it was done, that everything that they do is in relationship to themselves in the space and with each other.
Solamente quería que comprendiese que cualquier cosa que están haciendo está en relación con ellos mismos, con los otros compañeros y con el espacio.
And then we can really do impossible things, like make you believe that this is Don Quixote. Even we use arte povera theater. We use almost no costume. Everything is evocative. And we use live music, and everything is done here and now for you.
Y entonces es cuando podemos hacer cosas imposibles, como por ejemplo llegar a representar a Don Quijote a partir de los conceptos del arte pobre de Grotowskian, teniendo prácticamente nada, pero música en directo.
And everything is real.
Todo lo que sea real.
Yeah? We hit the floor for real.
Lo golpeamos el suelo de verdad.
We don't hit each other.
No nos golpeamos.
Sometimes we hug.
En todo caso, nos golpeamos.
Okay, hasta. Thank you very much.
Y la que en español es lo andaluzco, como sea más cómodo para vosotros.
Did they follow the order? The order of the scenes?
Say that again?
Did they follow the order of the scenes in Don Quixote?
Did you follow the specific order that there's already Don Quixote played?
Yeah. But I didn't do everything. I did bits. And there was a first part, first book, second part, second book, and I completely changed the concept for the second part, which became really about Sancho. And Sancho was performed by Buddha from Iceland, the blonde woman. She was Sancho.
Like how
I came against it finally.
how many time does it take to have that kind of connection with another actor?
Once you know what it is, it's immediate. I worked with you this week, and I have a connection. You understand? The little bits we did together, I was, because I cannot work otherwise now. And the actors, they cannot work differently now, because it's like a switch. How long for them to understand this in their training? Very different for different people.
¿Cuánto tiempo les lleva a los actores comprender esto? Depende de las personas, muy distinto. Pero para él, que lo has comprendido, lo tienes. Yo, por ejemplo, llevo una semana trabajando aquí y era una conexión directa con todos nosotros.
It's your focus. It's change your focus. This is what's important. Because when I also worked with you this week, I remember someone from your no. Which one was it? Yes, oh God. Yeah, I saw it already. I saw it, and my work is to tell you, this is the bit. This is now. Now, this that you feel now, this is what you are looking for.
Mi trabajo es decir esto, ahora, justo donde estás ahora mismo, es esto lo que buscamos.
The process for the actor is to really be able to disconnect emotion and feeling so that they are not afraid to feel something.
El verdadero trabajo del actor es ser capaz de diferenciar las emociones de los sentimientos para no tener miedo de relacionarse con el.
This is the main thing, and you are afraid to feel something. Not you.
Esta es la verdadera cuestión. Tenemos miedo de llegar a sentir.
We are afraid to feel something.
Tenemos miedo de sentir.
But this is why we are athletes of the heart. Our job is to train this muscle of feeling, of emotion.
Nuestro trabajo es ejercitar este músculo de la emoción que es el corazón.
So it's not about having a distance with the character, but having a distance between you and you as an actor, right?
The training, this is it. And then the next step, of course, you become the character because you understand that this is the emotion of the character. And so your mind is very free, and it's not your feelings. You don't feel anything. I can do something very, very emotional here. I can tell him I love him, and he might believe it. But you will believe it, and in the moment I will feel what it is to love him, but I will disconnect immediately. I will be able to disconnect immediately and have nothing left. It's very powerful.
¿Se entiende esto o lo otro?
No.
Habla un poco de la diferencia. La pregunta que está muy bien es: la diferencia no es tanto cómo yo me relaciono con el personaje, sino cómo yo me relaciono conmigo mismo. Entonces la respuesta es: la clave es comprender cuáles son las emociones del personaje, por eso puedo llegar a sentir algo por otro personaje en escena, pero en un momento dado, cuando corto, ya no hay nada de mí en las emociones del personaje que ya dejé.
Me, it took me 15 years.
A mí me llevó 15 años comprender esto.
¿Y cómo se entrena?
How do you train that?
There's a training. This is my training.
Hay un entrenamiento, esto es mi entrenamiento.
We already started it. You were here yesterday, no?
Estamos aquí, ¿no? Empezamos ayer.
There's a training.
Hay un entrenamiento.
A specific training. A mixture of many different things. Some of the work that Alfonso does, it goes in this direction. You are not aware of it, he does not address it. I address it because it's for theatre, and I have to be very, very specific. Because I train for theatre, and theatre means you speak. And I do work with the body, not as technically and perfect as him, not actually perfect at all, but really just with this emotion idea of vibration inside of you. And this is extremely clear for me what this is. So I can train it much quicker. It doesn't take 15 years for you. I had to do this journey and now it's very quick with some actors. Maybe 2-3 years they poof.
En 2-3 años posiblemente podemos lograr este año. Aunque digo 15 años, pero era capaz de facilitarlo para personas y reducir.
And sometimes it's 3-4 months. It's not.
A veces en 3 meses.
And then it's a choice that you want to do this or you want to do something else.
Luego es una elección que tú decidas hacer esto o dedicarte a otra cosa.
Really, it's not hard.
No es duro, ¿eh?
And it's very soft with the body as well. Very important for me that it's aware with yourself, that it's very soft, it's very accepting, it's very. For me, really, what it is it's really learning to touch yourself.
En realidad es muy
There's no other word for it.
Es suave contigo mismo, con tu cuerpo. En realidad me gusta esto porque es ser amable contigo.
So to have a body that is not just bits of things like a machine. The body is not a machine, the body is emotion.
No concebir el cuerpo como pedazos de una máquina, sino el cuerpo como emoción.
Our civilization thinks like machine. It wants to be a machine. It wants to have this efficiency of the machine.
La civilización quiere la eficacia de una máquina.
There is no efficiency in emotion.
Pero no hay eficacia en las emociones.
It just is. And often emotions, they are against efficiency because they are like this. They are not a straight line.
Pero realmente las emociones no tienen la misma lógica. De hecho, van contra la eficacia porque no van en línea recta.
So the work is with yourself. Okay, I will not be efficient.
El trabajo es contigo mismo, de acuerdo, aceptar que no voy a ser eficaz.
This is the last thing I want to say really, that to me is very important today, that we have machines that think in a certain way, actually not better than we do. You know, for the one neuron, connections between neurons, they use, I think it's 1 million times less energy, okay, than artificial intelligence, that the neurons in 1,000,000 times less. It means even our thinking is more efficient than the machines. We have to be a little bit real with this. So that's one thing.
Las conexiones entre dos neuronas, el cerebro humano, necesitan posiblemente 1.000.000 de veces menos energía que a la hora de conectarse una conexión de una inteligencia artificial.
This is true. This is a scientific fact. I'm not making this up. I think it's even more than 1,000,000, but let's say 1,000,000. And we have no machine for emotion.
No hay una máquina para la emoción.
Yes, we do. We have a body.
Sí, tenemos un cuerpo.
And this is very, very, very clever.
Y este cuerpo es muy listo.
Emotionally.
Emocionalmente.
But we are not cultivating this cleverness.
Pero no estamos cultivando esta inteligencia.
Except you.
Excepto ustedes.
And the world needs you.
Por eso el mundo os necesita.
This I am convinced. This is a real thing. The world needs actors. They're the only one in the world that this is their material. This is what they work on. Emotions.
Es una cosa de la que realmente estoy convencido, es que el mundo nos necesita.
And the world is going completely killing emotions.
El mundo está matando las emociones.
And killing relations.
Y matando las relaciones.
Dividing individual. Yeah? You know individual, it's a recent word. Individual. It's a recent word. It's 200 years old. Individual.
Individual es una palabra bastante reciente. Tiene 100 años.
Before, we said person.
Antes decíamos persona.
Persona is pessoa as well. And person, it comes from, same time as Cervantes, I think, maybe a bit before. Church thinks how we call one. We have no name for one. We have name for opposite idea, before. We have name for the flock. We have name for God. But what is one? How we call him? And they think we're going to call him person from the mask in the theater, the mask that has an opening like this. Personal.
Entonces, la etimología de la palabra persona viene del teatro, de la máscara, que en realidad tenía un agujero que servía para sonar.
So we are moving from a person that has a voice.
Estamos moviendo desde una persona que tiene una voz
to an individual that is indivisible.
De una persona que es indivisible, individuo.
But I am divisible in all the things that, as an actor, I am divided. I am so many things. I am not indivisible. I am multiple.
Pero yo soy divisible, no soy indivisible, soy múltiple.
Because I connect with you, I connect with you, I connect with you. Yeah? So individual, it kills relationship, and it makes you a merchandise or a consumer.
El individuo le hace bien a un producto para vender o...
And you're not a person, you don't have your voice. Now AI is going to be your voice. AI is going to change to call people instead of you, making your face, speaking to your friends, aliases.
Ahora la inteligencia artificial va a crear un alias que va a tener tu rostro y tu voz y que puede hacer tareas por ti como relacionarse.
Crazy idea. So, you, next generation,
vosotros, la próxima generación,
remember you're a person, and your emotion, they are your work. They are your material. You are the experts. You are the scientists of the emotion.
Y recordad que vosotros sois la emoción, vosotros sois la...
There is one, the science is late. The science is only starting to understand emotions, only starting to say things that Grotowski was saying, things that Stanislavski was saying, so the whole 20th century, it has completely drifted away from people that there is knowledge for this. Don't worry, there is knowledge. Shamanism, there is knowledge. very old traditions, they all work from the human being as someone who feels.
Parece que la ciencia va por detrás y que solamente ahora es cuando empieza a reconocer las cosas que ya han dicho otras personas en el siglo XX, como Grotowskian o Stanislavski, que ya hablaban de las emociones, pero parece ser que a lo largo del siglo XX ha habido como un desvío que no
So the technology is there.
La tecnología está ahí.
You need to dig and you need to read and you need to find the people that, like me, like Alfonso, have this technology, and it comes from our masters. It comes from 3,000 years of history, but it's here.
Por lo tanto, podéis encontrar a personas como nosotros que tienen ya una tecnología que os ayudan a trabajar desde la emoción.
And finally, the real risk is not that the machine take over.
El verdadero riesgo es que la máquina tome el relevo.
Is that we want to be like machines.
El verdadero riesgo es que nosotros deseemos ser como máquinas.
This is the real danger, and I am very afraid.
Este es el verdadero peligro y yo tengo mucho miedo.
But it's okay because I have the theater.
Pero está bien porque tenemos el teatro.
So I'm home.
Así que estoy en casa.
Thank you for being here.